Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence.
Hello, Homestead. It's Thursday, March 28th, and time for another episode of HHS In Depth. I'm Ellie Davis.
And I'm Jessica Walter. Welcome to another edition of the show.
On today's episode, you will see stories over the reason behind the internet filter that blocks certain websites from students on their school-issued laptops, and a report from Alex Peters.
You'll learn about our Homestead Robotics team and how they did this season in competitions, and a story by reporter Chris Wang.
Reporter Dylan Thomas brings you a story over aspiring professional fisherman, sophomore Jaxton Orr, and everything he's accomplished so far in fishing tournaments.
And new weatherman Easton Hensley is in with this weekend's weather forecast and to see how the weather will be during spring break.
We'll bring you all of those stories and much more, so stay tuned for today's episode of HHS In Depth.
We begin today's show with a story over the internet filters put in place by the SAC's IT department, CMT. Reporter Alex Peters finds out how and why so many websites are blocked for students' use on their school-issued laptops.
It's no secret that our district goes to great lengths to protect students while using technology in our schools, but many students don't know why or how some of these precautions are put into place. Don Chase, Director of Technology for Southwest Allen County Schools, and Mark East, Network Technology Supervisor for Southwest Allen County Schools, are two of the individuals who work to keep our students safe and on task while using technology during the school day. One of the most prevalent precautions, as well as most familiar with students, are the network filters used to block certain content. Our district implements filters in order to protect students as well as to comply with state regulations.
The purpose of filtering is, number one, to abide by the SIPA, the Children's Internet Protection Act, that was designed to prevent students from accessing inappropriate materials. We have to abide by that law in order to get federal funding for internet access.
Exactly what is filtered is determined in a variety of ways, such as different pre-made categories and custom blacklists of certain websites.
The filter we use has different categories, so we block certain categories, whether it be weapons, pornographic material, and other inappropriate categories that would deem to be inappropriate for students to use.
Initially, the request comes into myself and Mr. Chase and another tech. We do the initial preview of the site, looking for the obvious nudity and stuff about bomb making, weapons, that type of stuff. If we don't find any of that, then we'll go into a more in-depth review of the site, looking at all the links off of it. If we find stuff that is questionable, we refer it on back to the administrator of the building, and between the four of us, we make a decision.
While students may not always notice, the filters are constantly being changed and updated.
Filters under a constant update to where, new material is out there, new websites are out there, new proxy servers are out there.
We get updates twice a day at noon and midnight from a global server, and then we're constantly making changes throughout the day to the filter to open sites or block sites.
If students feel that a website should or shouldn't be blocked, the best course of action is to speak with a teacher or administrator.
Students can go to any teacher, any staff member for that matter, but their computer specialist, media specialist, or administrators can all make that request for them as well.
Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Alex Peters.
Attention student drivers. School administration has caught several students who are parking in no student parking areas. Please remember that if you choose to do so, you may lose your parking privileges or even have your car towed. This is just a reminder that the school has plenty of parking spaces available, including the lot south of the football stadium near the Environmental Center.
Prom will be held on Saturday, May 18th. If you wish to bring a guest who is not a current student at Homestead, you must complete a dance guest request form. Please plan ahead as this form requires the signatures of your guest, parents, and a school administrator. The deadline to turn in the completed form is Wednesday, May 8th at 3 p.m. There are absolutely no exceptions to this cutoff time. Forms are available on the Homestead website as well as in the discipline office.
Auditions for the variety show will be on Thursday, April 11th from 3 to 5 p.m. in the HHS auditorium. Sign up for a spot outside of the choir room today.
Spring basketball intramural packets are available in the discipline office and are due back at the end of the day today. All games will be played at the Y.
Students, if you need a work permit before spring break, make sure you turn in the completed intention to employ form and a copy of your birth certificate no later than noon today to make sure it's done before break. No work permits will be issued during spring break.
Seniors, caps, gowns, and graduation items will be available for pickup on Thursday, April 11th during all lunch mods in the commons outside the cafeteria.
Anime Club meets today after school in room 924. Bring $15 if you want to order a t-shirt and $20 if you want to order a sweatshirt.
And now here is reporter Chris Wang with a story looking back at the Homestead High School robotics team season this school year.
There are many clubs and classes at Homestead focused on science, technology, engineering, and math, and one of these clubs is Robotics Club.
The Robotics Club is basically split up into two different things, FTC and FRC. FTC is a smaller robot on a smaller field, and FRC is a larger robot that competes on a larger field.
So we start in January, where First Robotics releases the game that we have to build a robot for, and then the next 6 weeks we're staying after school over weekends, building a robot that plays this game. Then after that we have a couple competitions that we go to hopefully qualify for state.
Robotics Club competes at multiple competitions and teamwork is required.
Our competitions start on Friday, where we go up to the venue, we set up our pit which has our tools and all that, and we get our robot inspected that night. Then on Saturday we start qualification matches. We have about 10 of those where us and 2 other teams will compete against another 3-team alliance. And by winning those games, we earn ranking points. And then at the end of the day, Sunday, the top 75%-ish of teams end up going to playoffs and having a few more matches then.
Robotics Club may be really stressful, but at the end of the day, it's also a lot of fun.
I really like everything about robotics. I like the people that are in the club. We have a really good time. It's not completely serious. We have fun. I like the competitions are really fun. They're kind of stressful, but when you're there in the moment, it's really, really fun. And obviously building the robot, programming the robot, getting everything all figured out, seeing it come together is really cool.
Robotics Club isn't just for people who want to build a robot. A lot of teamwork, creativity, and other business practices are required.
Really anybody should join Robotics Club. I mean, if you're into business, programming, engineering, marketing, any of those things, there's really a spot for you on the team. We're kind of running low on members this year, so coming out and checking out what it's all about would be really appreciated. We'd love to have you.
The Robotics Club season may be over, but the club plans to have many more robotics activities, such as building a t-shirt robot. For those of you interested, contact Mr. Steverson or Mr. Elder. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Chris Wang.
Are you a graduating senior? Is there something special that you've been putting off until you finish high school, have more free time, or until you find extra money? The Homestead Parent Club Senior Bucket List Scholarship may be your answer. As your senior year comes to a close, you provide your bucket list and they provide the funding. This bucket list may include anything such as learning a new skill, taking a road trip, completing a community service project, making memories, or anything else you have wanted to do. This scholarship is not GPA or test score dependent. Applications are available in Student Services and on the website, and you will need to return your completed application to Student Services no later than 2:45 p.m. on Friday, April 26th.
Spring Arts Week is right around the corner. Do you have a talent to share? Sign up to perform at the annual NHS Coffee House on Wednesday, April 17th by emailing Zoe Moore at this email address.
New for Spring Arts Week this year is a raffle for a chance to win one of 3 door prize packages the night of the NHS Coffee House. Tickets are $1 and will be available for purchase from the gallery attendants during gallery hours, April 15th through the 17th, 7:15 a.m. to 3:15 p.m., and Wednesday, April 17th from 6 to 8:15 p.m. The drawings will be held at the end of the NHS Coffee House at 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday, April 17th.
Dare to be a force of nature and go out to Homestead's next Environmental Club meeting on Monday in Mrs. Merkling's room, room 206 at 2:45 p.m. Take a friend and don't miss out on the meeting covering their New to You fundraiser and decorating the rain barrel for the Fort Wayne Earth Day celebration. They hope to see you there Monday at 2:45 in room 206.
And now here's reporter Dylan Thomas with a student profile over sophomore Jaxton Orr, who is an aspiring professional fisherman and being called a fishing phenom for his success at such a young age.
This year, Homestead sophomore Jaxton Orr has been given the opportunity to take his fishing skills to many different tournaments and championships. His interests in fishing started at an early age.
Basically, when I was 5 or 6 years old, I just go to the local neighborhood ponds with my dad, and we just go out with bagels or hot dogs and just catch catfish or even some bass.
Once he started getting good at this hobby, he started getting into bass tournaments 2 years ago.
Tournaments back in 2017. I wanted to end up getting a bass boat, but I looked at them and they were too expensive for my financial purposes. So I ended up getting a kayak and met Joe Armstrong at the Fort Wayne Boat Show, and he's the one who got me into kayak tournament fishing.
He has gone all across Indiana and even to Kentucky and will get the chance to go to Louisiana for one of the biggest tournaments.
I've been doing tournaments for, I guess this is my 3rd year now. Been doing them for 2 whole years and this will be my 3rd. I attend tournaments. I started out doing just Indiana tournaments, but now I've been doing bigger tournaments across the whole nation. I think the farthest I've gone for a tournament is in Kentucky. I will be attending the national championship where first place gets a $250,000 in Louisiana on March 28th this year.
He has had multiple very successful tournaments and has won many events to put himself out there in the fishing community.
I just do bass tournaments, 5 fish limit, all inches since we're in kayaks and don't have live wells, and do it by weight. From tournaments, I just meet a lot of incredible people. Every tournament I go to, I meet people on social media that I meet in reality, and sometimes I'm fortunate enough to...
Jaxton receives many sponsors that help him do well throughout tournaments and events.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have many fishing sponsors, and they support me in what I love to do and supply me with things I need to be successful.
Overall, Jaxton has been rewarded to meet many new people and has been able to make some serious catches throughout his career. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Dylan Thomas.
And now it's time for the weekend weather forecast as well as next week's spring break forecast. Here's weatherman Easton Hensley to tell you how Indiana weather will be for those not traveling this year.
Easton, cartwheel into the shot.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's been a hot minute since I've been.
Howdy hey, howdy ho, Homestead. I'm your weatherman, Easton Hensley, and welcome to your weekend weather forecast. It may be spring break, but your weather here will be pretty gloomy. Here's your forecast. Today will bring rain with a high of 58 and a low of 46. Friday will be rainy all day with a high of 50 and a low of 48. And Saturday will be rainy again with a high of 54 and a low of 26. And here's your forecast for the rest of spring break. Well, that wraps up this weekend's weather forecast, Homestead. Your quote of the week comes from Ashton Hackman, who says, "Fine, you can borrow the shirt for weather, whatever." I'm Easton Hensley, and I'll see you after break.
Well, that wraps up this edition of HHS In Depth. I'm Ellie Davis.
And I'm Jessica Walter. Thank you for watching today.
Today, we leave you with a song exclusive to our radio station, The Point 91 FM.
Have a safe and fun spring break, and we'll see you right back here in 2 weeks.
Sun is rising. Black is turning blue. Look out, buddy, no one's calling. Jesus, man, what did you do? Psychic tale.